Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I am Coach Lorianne, America's #1 take action success coach and strategist, helping you get educated, inspired, and ignited to take action with jet propulsion. What we do is we assist people to find and embrace their life's purpose and give them the highest vision and let them step in the next best version of themselves and let them soar to success. Find out more information on our website at JVC Broadcasting, of course, is where we're broadcasting here, but ldcstrategies.com. I am so excited about our guest today that I'm stammering all over the place, so it's all good. But we're going to light you up with some verbal caffeine because this person who's coming on with us today is unbelievable. Dr. Preston Cherry is a financial harmony expert, educator, and author of Wealth in the Key of Life. You can find it on Amazon, and I'll have the link with this episode. And as founder and CEO of Concurrent Wealth Management and director of the financial planning program at UW Green Bay, he uses over 18 years expertise to align wealth with well-being. God bless. A nationally recognized speaker, media personality, Preston's insight have graced platforms like the New York Times, Forbes, CNBC, and NASDAQ. Named a top 10 Investopedia Financial Advisor and a wealthmanagement.com 10 to watch. A member of the CNBC and Investopedia Advisor Council, Dr. Cherry, a financial therapist and planner with a PhD in personal finance planning, blends emotional and financial strategies into transformative life planning. Yes, 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 being a transformative take action success coach myself, loving Dr. Cherry. When not shaping lives through wealth and financial wellness insights, he enjoys vinyl records, family time with his wife and newborn son. Welcome to the show, Doc. Good to see you.
Oh, thank you. That was a mouthful. Thank you, Lorianne. I
Oh
really
my
appreciate
gosh.
it and love your show, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I think it's just so great. There was so much more that I could have said. That's how we narrowed it down to express who you are, because you are just so full of depth, and I love it. And I love that well-being is very much in force and in synergy with your finances. And I got to say that finance is a thread that runs through everything in life. So when you have that humming, life is good, don't you
Yeah,
think?
yeah, most definitely. When there's more money in accounts, right? There's less life to worry about, right? And so when you
100%, 100%. Now, I mentioned your son. How old is he? What's his name? And how squishy is he? When can I squish him?
Oh yeah, squishy, squishy. So he's 9 months old right now. So
Oh,
it'll be a year in May. My wife and I are having a ton of fun right now. He had a little scare with rounds of pneumonia in a month.
oh
That
my.
said, yeah, it was really scary, hospitals and all. That said, he had a physical 9 month checkup. Everything's good.
Excellent, excellent. What day in the month of May?
Second, May 2nd.
May 2nd. That's so cool. My mother-in-law is May 2nd and my partner is May 3rd.
Awesome. Look at that. See synergy already.
There you go. There you go. Well, speaking of synergy, your relationship with money, the feelings with your finances. I'm all about vibration and how vibration works. I'm sure you are as well. And that when you have that vibration up there and you have a good relationship with money, what happens?
Well, what happens is you have harmony. When life and money are disconnected, Lorianne, it doesn't feel very good. And everybody that's had, you either have a dollar that folds or coins that jingle in your pocket. So everyone has a relationship with money, some sort of how past, present, and future. And so, what are those experiences? What are those cultural norms? What are those societal norms? What are those beliefs? Those values? What is all that? And once we identify it and we become disconnected and there's no alignment. I was just on the highway like yesterday and it's snowing up here in Wisconsin and we got snow in the tire and it was pulling my car, Lorianne, pulling my car to the left and the right out of alignment. Simply doesn't feel good. Everybody knows what feels good to them and what doesn't.
Yeah.
And when there's disconnect with life and money, you know what that feels like. And you'd
Yeah.
rather have harmony than not.
Yeah, without a doubt. And we have to listen to, people ignore and push down emotions. Emotions are there to let you know you're in or out of alignment. When you're in all those happy, yummy emotions, you're in alignment with who you are. When you're not in those happy, yummy emotions, you're out of alignment somehow. We need to really dive deep and dial into what that means. A lot of people have a bad relationship with money. They think money is evil, they think money is terrible. At the end of the day, that's the currency we utilize to operate from day to day. So, where do you think that stems from, that bad alliance with money that some people have?
Well, it's those experiences in early in life or throughout life. There are flashpoint moments that are going to spark some sort of triggering event in the future. But we all have unique flashpoints, and some of them don't all have to be bad. Money doesn't have to be about trauma and trial all the time. It can be about triumph as well. And there's positive points like, hey, look, I remember I found $100 on the ground at a farmer's market with me and my mother one time. And this was both positive and quote unquote negative, right? I found $100. That was positive. I'm plus 100. Then my mom said, well, no, we found $100.
Yay, mom.
Right, right. She was like, that's going into, the grocery budget and all that. But she did give me a percentage of it. So that also, that flashpoint right there taught me two things. One, here was a sudden wealth, right? There's fancy terms for all this, right,
Yeah,
Lorianne?
yeah, yeah.
But that was sudden wealth to me, $100 back in the day. And then was also how to prioritize money. Because my mom was like, okay, the family, and we need that little influx of money right there. We can put, I think it was 70/30, something like that. Sounds like a portfolio, but I think it was
Right.
$70. She took 70 and I took 30. So that was a positive flashpoint. But there are negative ones that tend to, or I would say barriers. Those instances that happen, and money hoarders, money scarcity, all these type of things is like, and then it gets into money avoidance later because you don't want to trigger that emotion that you had with that particular event.
Yeah, so you avoid even addressing it, and you avoid tackling it. And yeah, it's a learning opportunity. You had a learning opportunity with the 70/30 split, an unintentional, unexpected learning experience. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, I bent down to pick it up. The split should go the other way.
Right, right, right. I'm like, thanks, mom. I was excited, Lorianne. I thought I was gonna get that $100.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what? Mom gave you a really good gift in that, is that, you got to be thoughtful. Is that when money is coming in, one of the things that I have in Justifiable Excuses, a book that I'm writing, is roller coaster riding. And so you have money, you have money, you have money. So you sit back and you're not doing as much and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden your bank account's going down. And then you're in that panic mode. And now you're back up on the hill, working, 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 spending all this time working, probably stressing yourself out. And finally, you put money back in, you get a couple of clients, you're feeling better, and you get back and you start laying back again. You're roller coaster riding. Now, some people enjoy that. I do not. I think that working at on my terms, a certain amount of time every day or a certain amount of time during the week allows me to keep the money here. And then I'm not going up and down, and I get to pick and choose who I work with, when I work, things like that. To me, that's financial freedom. And isn't that what we all are looking for, that financial freedom?
For sure. Like you said, the roller coaster, the up and down, right? And there's a smoothing effect when finances are in order to where life is definitely going to be a roller coaster. Life is not linear. It's something I cannot stand is toxic positivity. I love positive thoughts and positive mind frame. It does help for sure,
Yeah.
right? But toxic positivity, thinking that everything is going to be linear, it's going to go up the whole time, right? Or the things are positive with no
You mean
interruption.
butterflies and rainbows? Is that what you're talking about, Doc? Butterflies and rainbows?
It don't happen. It just doesn't happen, right? And I say all the time, I was like, look, uncertainty is certain, gonna happen. Uncertainty
Yeah.
is gonna happen. Well, folks like I had to rode my first roller coaster. You mentioned roller coaster with my uncle. I think it was like 12 or something like that. And it was this zippity doo roller coaster. I mean, it was all around, zipping around and everything. And I was scared of heights and all that type of stuff. My uncle thought that was exciting. Now, I've since grown to appreciate roller coasters. That said, the smoothing effect of having your finances in order takes a exciting, roller coaster of up and down and all that around to one of those boring ones where it's just, you're just smoothing, you're going like this and it's not like all that, right? But that's the best roller coaster in the world.
Yeah.
Actually, a smooth, roller
Yeah.
coaster to where you can smooth out some of the events that uncertainty that's coming, and even grab hold of those positive milestones where you're not getting too high, you're not getting too low, but your finances keep you smoothing out in that smooth
Yeah.
roller coaster ride.
Yeah, yeah. I liken it to like a pencil, right? And our instead of going really, really high and really, really low, and the pencil, if you hold up a pencil right in front of you for those listeners, um, it's a straight line in front of you, right? So if you go really, really high peaks, low peaks, that is a little nauseating, right? You might need a motion bag, that you could throw up in because you just never know what's coming or not coming, right? But if you could get that line pretty close to here, that's the smoothing that you're talking about because life is going to throw you all kinds of exciting things. And it's to me, I look forward to the next day. Not that I'm not looking forward to right now, but I look forward to the next day because I never know what's coming. So it's exciting, and so that anticipation of what's coming with a nice positive attitude that, okay, that's what it's going to be. I'm going to stub my foot today. Okay, I see how it's going to be. It's okay because I know that tomorrow's another day. So that even though those sound like cliches and corny and stuff like that, at the end of the day, if you have smooth finances, if you really put your finances in order, tomorrow is another day. And yeah, you may stub your toe and yeah, something unexpected will come, but you'll be prepared for it, right?
Yes, and you know what that is, Lorianne? That's gratitude. And a lot of folks, I remember I was watching a show one time. I won't say what it is because it was kind of raunchy, but but the dude, everybody knows the X Files, David Duchovny.
Sure.
So it was one of the show after that. But anyway, he said he was getting hung out of a window, and it said, "Why do you use so many cliches?" And he said, "If you use one, I'm gonna drop you." And even at the threat of being dropped, he said, "I use cliches because they work." And the dude that held him dangling over the edge, he was like, "I'm gonna let you make it with that because that's kind of true, right?"
Right.
So coming back to gratitude, people are like, "Oh, that's cliche," but gratitude is what you just explained.
Yeah.
Having orderly finances is a lot of factors. It's just not choice, but it's a lot of factors. But if they are in order, right, it does give you privilege to say, today is not that good. I'm going to make it and survive and show some resilience, and then at least I have the next day,
Yeah.
and that is gratitude.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. And we should live in gratitude because when you do, just abundance comes. Abundance comes when you live in gratitude. A lot of times I go, oh my gosh, I feel like people have their hand in my pocket. Be it the government, be it the school districts, and not that I never mind paying for stuff that I'm utilizing and helping and contributing back into the community. But dear Lord, mind your own business about money. So let's talk a little bit about minding your own business, your money business. I have actually somebody who, no matter what I do, they're like, how much did that cost you? How much did you spend? And I'm like, I just ignore the question and I keep going on. I'll throw another question out and they're like, no, 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 really, how much did you pay? And it's just like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't
No,
matter.
it doesn't matter
It brings me
because
joy.
yeah, right.
It
Because
brings
it
me
does
joy.
bring you joy, and the fancy word for that is utility. Because it's in these empirical formulas. But utility slash well being slash happiness, whatever brings you I think joy, right?
Yeah.
Fulfillment. Then you can invest in those areas. So we talk about that in the book, Wealth and the Key of Life. But there's a section that says it says emphatically, Lorianne, money buys happiness. Period. Whereas a lot of folks dance around there because of their either it's a societal norm or some, or it is. It's like, no, we shouldn't say that emphatically. It doesn't, because then that becomes money is more important than life, or money is bad. Some of the things that you said earlier, money is greed and all this.
Yeah.
Not no. That is what that does is contribute to a negative relationship with money. And when this is the key. This is the key. When you know or done the investigation to know what does bring you happiness across all types of domains of your life, then you have an understanding.
Yeah.
I call that a unit. It's a unit of well-being, a unit of joy, a unit of whatever, right? Whatever word you want to use. And then you can take your money to purchase more units of that.
Yes. How about a reframing too? I mean, that's a great reframing. I love that because it just takes it away from that bad money doesn't grow on trees things that you might have heard from your parents when you were growing up. Those things affect us, you know. And no, it doesn't, but they do print it from trees. But anyway, I'm just being technical, you know. But one of the things in reframing it is that the more money someone makes, the more opportunity we have to reach out and help other people. So we're not just doing it to help ourselves, we're also doing it to help other people. And we're here to serve one another, right? As well as learn. So if we can have a good relationship with money, we can make sure that we have the things we have in place. We can help other people in our lives, be it our children, our moms and dads, our relatives, our aunts, our friends, have a better life as a result of that. How is that bad? I haven't been able to wrap around my head around the fact that that's a bad thing. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, and it very much so is. And there's two things there, which is uh you know money, doing well for others. Now, there's also a norm that says yes, giving is actually empirically studied that it does spark some joy in individuals, and actually those that have a propensity to give more tend to have better finances and well-being over their life. Sure, all of that is true. All right. That said, don't skip over yourself. There's one thing that chapped my hide. I said chap my hide the other day, and they were like, "How are you?" And I
I
was,
love that.
it keeps it from cursing, even though I like cursing a lot. But but he was like, when don't skip over yourself. Don't skip over yourself, because there's another thing that uh can be a barrier as well, is overgiving.
Yeah,
Over concern about someone else, over concern about a cause. You know, for example, whether it be whatever box that you want to check, gender, ethnicity, social norm, or whatever. And some folks think they need to carry that on their back, and that becomes more important than securing your own individual household. So it could be enable an adult child. It can be whatever you want to put in this space,
right.
where you're skipping yourself in order to uplift, someone else. What that does is it takes your cup half empty, half full. You're not working with a full cup. You're
Yeah,
starting with a half cup because you've exerted all of this energy on other folks, and you don't have the energy to properly extol on the mission of gaining income, building assets, building wealth, so you can then secure what you want. So you got to operate with a fuller cup and take care of yourself so you can take care of others. The cliche, put your mask on first.
first, yeah, put the oxygen mask on first, and
But it's
but it's
true.
true, but it's really true, and I love that you said that because I always caution, can't help myself, coach, right? I'm like, where's the accountability? Sometimes we overhelp people, and there's no skin in the game. That drives my kids crazy. I'm like, nope, you gotta have skin in the game, and they're like, oh, for God's sakes, so. But they do. You have to have skin in the game because you value it more. When somebody hands you free tickets to a show, you may or may not go because it's free. You're like, I don't feel like it. It's raining out. It's snowy out. I don't know. My back hurt. Whatever. You'll make excuse. When you pay for it, you're going. You're going.
And you know what? That's a great point. And it brings, thank you for saying that, because it goes right into some of the pushback I have against money is just a tool. I do not like that phrase. I know folks do, but I have two issues with it. One, the word just, and then a tool. And I think of money as a partner, because the definition of a partner is being associated with someone else in a course of action, or a partner, not even just someone else, but something else, right?
It's an
And
exchange of energy, though.
it's
It's
an exchange
energetic.
of, yes. Thank you, Lori. I know we're friends from way back. It is, because that's where we talk about soul. And it's where I got the title of the book too. There's a music, there's soul of music, there's soul of money, there's soul of language, right? these are universal themes. It's the humanity of money because everybody has a, but like I said, dollar or coin that jingles. And what I mean by that is when you say tool, sure, that helps you, you know, carry out functionality in life, even your needs and your wants. But when we exchange a part of ourselves, for, it's toil, it's work,
Yeah.
right? We are giving a piece of ourselves in exchange of this money, and then we are now using that partnership in order to do a dance or fuel fund our well-being elements. So that exchange it puts more importance, it puts more emphasis on the role of money and doesn't discount it and say, you know what, it doesn't stop you from going after more until you get to you're enough.
Yeah.
Big thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you start from you're enough. So if we could talk about that in a minute because we're going to take a short break. But when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation. I love it. If you want to get more information on Dr. Preston Cherry, you can go to concurrentfp.com or drprestoncherry.com. You're amazing. I love this conversation. And your next book is going to be Humanity of Money. I love that. Write that down. That will be your next book title. I'm just saying. You're listening to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I am Coach Lorianne, America's #1 take action success coach and strategist. Yes, I will chase you down, hold you accountable. You need to do the things for yourself. Get a goal, follow the goal, stay on track. With that said, I want to jump right back in to our conversation with Dr. Preston Cherry, concurrentfp.com. You can get his book at Wealthy in the Key of Life at Amazon. All links to get to him. Everything is with this episode. But oh my gosh, Doc, you are awesome. I love having this conversation. I just want to back up to something that you had said earlier. I'm a believer, and you were saying, you got to pay yourself. Pay yourself first. I always pay myself first. That money goes into my finances. My financial advisor does the magic, whatever. And I pretend that it's not even there, right? Because I pay myself first. And why do I do that? Because I'm telling myself non-verbally that I value myself and the work that I've just done. So it's a way to say thank you, congratulations, be in that point of gratitude with yourself and everything that you've accomplished, and just to do that first. Then you can take care of all your bills and things like that. But we start with paying myself. Am I on track with that?
Yeah, I think that tracks perfectly. And you said a couple of words there, Lorianne, which I'm very passionate about, is worthiness and value. So self-value and self-worth are your two most compoundable assets. And I thank goodness, thank God every day for you faith believers out there, whatever faith. I like to say faith as you find it, or faith as you define it, because whatever that is, cool beans to you. But I like to give us some gratitude for my parents, because my sister and we grew up together. She's older millennial, I'm Gen X, and my parents made a conscious decision to ensure that my sister and I have self-worth and self-value about ourselves. And we were able to use those, and still do, in times of life to help us thrive, Lorianne, and also to survive in times that we may have lost our way a little bit. So we had fundamental. But if you use that in order to produce your life, design your life, put resources into your life, all right, then those outputs generate income, and then that income buys assets. And then you have compounding over life, because you're operating with a full wholeness of self, that full cup.
Yeah.
And nobody can take that away from you, self-worth and self-value. And that's why they're the two most compoundable assets that you'll ever have in your portfolio.
100%. I'm just taking notes because it's so good. Yeah, no, you're so right. And we have all our success already pre-designed when we come here. We already
Mhm.
have it all inside. And for some reason, our society wants us to reach outside of ourselves. And it's already here. You just need to go inside and you have that self-worth, that self-value. Having parents like you did, as did I, just, letting you know you can do it, just go do it.
Yeah,
Having that support behind you. You got to find and surround yourself one or two, I call them raving fans, right? That this cheer, I'm telling you, I talk about my bestie, Deborah. She is my raving fan. She may not understand what I'm doing all the time because she's like, I don't know, but you go. She really supports it. And it's really nice to have that. She'll also call me out on my stuff. Don't get me wrong. So that accountability level that is there too. So you just need one or two people like that in your life that you can trust who's going to give you honest feedback, but valuing yourself. You're worthy. And that goes back to money. I guarantee you track it back to money all the time. How about a lot of people have this spending shame. Like I
yeah.
would spend on my kids and wouldn't even think about it. But to spend on myself, I'd be like, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't have that problem anymore, by the way. I'm good.
Yes,
But
and it goes back to paying yourself, and I'll tie them both together. So
yeah,
spending shame and paying yourself first. When I was coming up, and this is where I talk about experiences with money too, and how they affect your now and your future. You know, my dad especially had money just floating everywhere. It wasn't a whole bunch, but he had money like underneath the peanut butter jar. He had it in the glove compartment. It was $20. I was like, Pops, can I borrow $20? And he was like, man, we're running a little short this week, but go on back there and look underneath that box back. Because he paid himself.
yeah,
He paid himself. He believed in it too. And the thing about it was pay yourself nowadays means, maybe investing in yourself for your future, your future self, putting money away for your retirement and all that. And yes, that is paying yourself A. And then there's paying yourself is one A and one B. Yes, there's two selves. You have a whole self, current and future. So in his mind, it's like and I think it's to your point too. If you're not feeling well and whole right now in the present, then you can't produce or you can't invest in your future because you're not whole right now. So
100%.
and his thing was put some money in your pocket, you know, and then for right now, and then put some money in the bank for your future, right?
Yeah,
So that was his thing. And then you mentioned something else kicking off this when I was going to tie it in. Oh, the spending shame, which is, you know, if I talk about false frugality a lot, Lorianne. Oh my gosh. You know, you don't have to have deprivation, frugality. You don't have to live below your means. A lot
yeah,
of folks say live below your means and then you could be financially successful. Well, you don't have to live below. That's deprivation. Now, if that brings you joy, finding the
that's
best
okay.
meal and all that, hey, kudos to you,
Yeah,
right? However, it's living within your means. Two different things,
yeah.
and means different to other folks. That's why when you said, you know, keep your eye keep your eye on your own finances and get out of my pocket, right?
Yes, please keep your hand out of my pocket. Thank you
Keep
very
your hand
much.
out of my pocket, right?
Well,
So
because they're comparing. Keep your eyes on
yes,
your own paper. Don't compare
yes,
your life with my life because we're in different places potentially. And it doesn't mean we're better or worse. It just we are. And just be grateful for what you have, right?
absolutely. That goes back to that gratitude because some person you don't know their story, Lorianne. You don't know their finance. You don't know their story. You know,
And
uh,
everybody has one.
everybody has one, right? So the money shame, when folks, to your point, hey, you don't have to wait for the other shoe to drop all the time, right? Yes, uncertainty is going to be certain in life for sure. But also, there's going to be triumphant times in life. And it's kind of like market cycles or economic cycles. You're going to be, riding high for a little bit. And then later on or something like that, there'll be a challenge. Okay. Then you have to have some resiliency to go through that. But don't wait on it.
Right.
Don't wait on it. And spend your money, and if you want to use spend, you want to use invest your money in the domains that are going to bring you fulfillment, contentment,
Yeah.
happiness. And it can even be material. I'm so sick of hearing this about, quiet luxury and folks, not spending money or they don't spend money on material items. The wealthy don't do that. That's BS. You know,
Big time.
it's big time. It's
Big
big.
time.
It's
Big
big
time.
time. You may not have a label on your on the outside of what you're wearing, but I did this speech one time, and I walked on stage because I did the money shame. It was called money shame to money success, something to the spending shame to spending success. And I walked on the stage. It was quiet. Hey, Preston Cherry, all right. And then I sat there, and I said, I'm wearing $3,000 right now. And I paused. And it was clutching going on. Oh my gosh, right? You don't have to justify what you invest in. And what I shared with them was, I didn't say that to be arrogant. I said I'm sharing that with folks is to give permission to enjoy the wealth that you have and the domains that you have. I said, listen, I'm on stage, even though I don't have to be, but I said, you listen, I have to look good, in order to be in front of you all right
You
now.
choose to look good. You don't have to. You
Yeah, I
chose to look
choose
good.
to. Yeah, yeah. As I choose to, as like Dion says, that Dion said, he said, look good, play good, pay good.
That's right.
Right, right. And so what I wanted folks to understand is like, don't be ashamed. Don't have shame or have need justification in order to live abundantly, even if it's a material.
Yeah.
Because what that did was, yes, it was a material item. Don't have any shame in that. Don't justify it. Don't explain it. But it also ties into a value. I feel well,
Yeah.
not because I have the material items, because I invested in what made me feel well.
Yes, which allowed you to show up for them in a manner in which you needed to show up so that they would hear what you had to say. So that makes perfect sense to me. And it also brought you joy. It brought you joy to feel that fabric, to have those items on you. So yeah, the shaming of what somebody else has is not, again, Deborah, myself and I, we were out on an island together, and we're looking at all these beautiful homes. They're magnificent. And she would look at it and go, I bet you, I'm so happy for them. And I was like, yeah, absolutely happy for them. And I was like, but are they really happy? And she's like, yeah, they're very happy. And I was like, okay, that's good. Because you know what? It's good. Good for them. Good for them that they're able to have that. Or good for them. I know people who have a small little tiny house that makes them happy, but they travel the world. It's different choices, and everybody needs to make those choices. But if your choice is to keep up with the Joneses, as they used to say, that may be your choice. It's no longer my choice. And there are periods in life you're going to change what those choices are. So me having experiences and not getting stuff is more important for me right now. But if I need that item or that thing, or if I want it, I can get it. Right.
Yeah,
So
yes.
it's a choice, because I've made those choices to put money away. I've made those choices to pay myself first and to value myself enough first. That also, by the way, from a business sense, helps you with pricing on how you get paid. So if you're, constantly putting yourself on sale because somebody says, "Oh, that's a lot of money, I can't afford it." That happened to me once. I did not know this about this person. And they were like, "Oh, can you do a little better on your call or your pricing and blah blah blah." And I was like, okay." So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I had my hand in their pocket. I was like, oh, they must be having a hard time. I'll reduce I devalued myself and found out they were a multi-gazillionaire. Now, I found that out afterward. It shouldn't have any relevance to what I charge, but I devalued myself was my point. I put myself on sale, and that never happened again, because I was like, ooh, big lesson learned. The universe served it to me on a platter, but I recognized it. I picked it up right away, and I was like, ooh, and I lived it out, and I lived it out. And you know what happens when you devalue yourself? You start resenting the people who are paying you what they are. And then that resentment builds up in a negative way. So we need to value ourselves, to your point. We need to not allow people to do spending shame on us. We need to understand that we need to mind our own business, money business, and allow other people to mind their own business as well. And it's okay to say, it doesn't matter. It makes me happy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because I had some.
I like putting a MF in the mind your own business a little bit. So I use a little acronym. So it's mind your own MF business. Yeah. Because you need to put a little,
Oh,
emphasis on it, because, folks just keep their hands in other people's pockets. But
yeah,
it's unhealthy, not only the pockets, but someone else's life prosperity,
yeah.
not the dollar wealth, but just how people are living, you know?
And
embrace
make
that.
assumptions.
Yeah, make assumptions, and just because folks have a lot of money don't make them like pie in the sky. Have Everyone has family issues, marital,
They
whatever it
just
may
have
be.
different issues than
It's
we do.
just different issues. But I say this, you know, if you have back pain, all right, and your back pain is 10, and you can take your dollars to get that back pain down to 4, right? My question to you is, are you or aren't you more happy, quote unquote? Are you more well, right?
Sure.
Yes, you're more well because you were able to reduce that back pain. You still have pain,
Sure.
right? It's at a 4, all right? But 4 is better than 10.
Yep.
But you had resources in order to invest in that. And I share a story in the book very quickly, which was, I had a time in my life where I was suffering. I share this story so I hope everybody else can relate. Maybe they have something in their life. I don't know what it is, but I was going through something, and I had the family resources, Lorianne. Thank God. All right. I had some friend support, but ultimately it came down to what I didn't want to do, how I didn't want to live my life anymore, and how I did want to live my life. And I had to get professional help.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And that took a long time to get professional help and also recover and also, try to get myself back. That was 2, 3 years, during that period. Now, was that pie in the sky happiness? Was I just jumping for joy, all every day? No. But did I have the resources to invest in my situation to become more well? And this is why I say that, yes, if you know what's going to bring you more wellness, which is a euphemism for happiness, then yes, more resources gives you the more opportunity to
Yeah.
be more well.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not, there's nothing clearer than that. And I get that. I remember way back, and I still have the dollar hanging on my bulletin board right here. I had a dollar between me and my husband, and we had to go the whole week, and we had a dollar between us. And I was just like, okay, we're gonna figure this out. And we figured it out. We had food in the house, we took it with us to work, we did whatever. We made it through that week, and that dollar sits there to remind me and keep me humble that I don't have to worry about that $1. But I made a promise to myself that I would never put myself in that position again, where I would be at the $1. And that's where the paying myself came first. And that's where making sure that I put money away. And that's making sure that I just pretended it didn't exist, because that works for me. Some people have other techniques that work for them, and then having someone like yourself who can teach you how to actually handle money. And that's one of the things that's so frustrating to me is our children aren't taught to handle money unless we do it as parents. You're not taught in university if you go to college or university. You're definitely not taught if you go to a training school or something like that. So where is it that we're supposed to learn about money? And that's a really important element, because again, it's a thread that runs through our whole life and could make our lives easier and better and more well-being. I'm watching some people get sick, 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 sick because they can't pay for, or they choose not to. They could if they wanted to. They choose not to pay for the herbs or the products that are maybe better, eating more fruits and vegetables, healthier products on the front end, and they're getting really sick on the back end, and that's way more costly. That's 10 times more costly, and it brings me great sadness, but it's their choice, their journey. And that's sometimes what we have to sit back and watch people go through those journeys, offer them the options. And we like to do that on this show by offering the different options and have you start thinking about, like, what does make you happy, what's going to make you joyous, and what is that going to cost. Even when I'm doing lifestyle and we're doing goal setting, I don't call it goal setting, I call it lifestyle setting. What do you want to do in the next 12 months with your life? Because from that, we get what your goals are. From your goals, we find out how much money you need to make or do, and how we're going to make that money in order for you to live that lifestyle. I had somebody say to me, "Oh, my own airplane," and I'm like, we were goal setting. I was like, I want my own airplane, and I wrote it on my sheet. And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, wait a minute, do I? I don't want to pay for the gas, especially now. I don't want to pay for the mechanic. I don't want to pay to house it. I don't want to pay for the whole staff. Nothing, nothing wrong with that, but that's a lot. So I just want to know someone who has a plane, which I do. She builds them. She's up in Canada. If you ever need one, let me know. She's awesome. But that's the difference in the thought process, and that's what in my mind, what your book says, what you are constantly saying is think about where you want to go. Set a plan. For goodness sakes, we make an unbelievable plan to go on vacation, but we don't plan our finances.
Yes, yeah, and they work hand in hand. They're partnerships, right? And when you talk about, oh, what you just shared is just fabulous. You know why? Is because if you do the investigation as you talked about, you know, then there's your glue. And I remember, I'm a Gen Xer, and we did these at school. We did
You're
project.
telling everybody how young you are, killing me. No, I'm joking. Just joking.
We did construction paper projects, and we did, putting the Elmer's glue on there.
Sure.
And if you put too much on the with the Elmer's, then it slid, and it didn't stick for a while.
Yeah.
Now we got Gorilla Glue,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
you just need a dot, and you have that stick to itiveness. And what you describe, and what I try to describe in the book, is doing that investigating and getting more understanding from yourself, working through a process, so you can give your life and money alignment, and give that then gives your money assignments, right? And then when you do that, now you have connective glue to your prosperity plan, which is, because we've been talking about it, is what are your preferences, the person, so that's unique identity, the points in life stages, okay, your purpose, number four, and then the fifth P is plan, your financial plan. You put all those P's together, you come up with an equal P, which is prosperity. I love alliteration. All right, so
Love it.
but all of what we've been discussing is placing those ingredients so you can cook. Let that person cook, but those are the ingredients you need in order to have a stick to itiveness financial plan, life and money alignment, gives your money assignment, so then you can get to where you need to go.
Yeah, I know. And one final thought on all of this for today is, you don't have to be making millions of dollars. If you're making a $30,000 income, you can still figure it out. There's still a process, there's still a strategy, there's still a plan. It almost seems like it's impossible because it's like, well, I have all these bills. But then you have to look at those bills. You really have to assess, what are you putting your money into? Pay attention to that. And when you start assessing it, it's the question I always ask people to ask themselves is, do I really need this? Do I want this? Is it bringing me happiness? And
Yeah,
when they look at it, they can easily cut out some of those things so that they can pay themselves and put them in a better position, not very much longer down the road. It could be a couple of months, it could be maybe a year, it could be maybe two, but you're going to be in a better position tomorrow than you are today if you take those steps today. It's like the thoughts you think. If you're thinking good thoughts today, you're going to make a better tomorrow. Same thing with
absolutely.
finances.
Absolutely. That resilience is key. The realism. Things are not built in a day, except for, well, not even Legos. I was about to say Legos because my son's about to get some Legos soon. But they're not even built in a day. It takes a process.
Yeah.
And so when we keep our eye on our, like in the airport, and I had a friend that say this too. He said, keep your eye on your own luggage, right? And just keep an eye on go to your gate,
Yeah.
you know, go in your direction. And it is and I'll end it with this. There's award days and there's reward days, right? Reward days are the everyday days in your journey. It is the opportunity to get to do, or in a process of a journey to get where you want to go. That's reward when you wake up and get into that, right? Then
Yeah.
the award days are those, hey, it's a payday. It's I bought a house, or I got married, or I had a child. That's an award. You got an award that day.
Yeah. Or you found $100.
Yeah, or you found $100. The thing about it is you have more reward days than award days. So you must have gratitude about the journey that compounds into those award days.
Beautiful. We're going to leave it right there. That's beautiful. Dr. Preston Cherry, I need to have you back. Please say yes. Please say yes.
Yes.
We have so much more we want to talk about, so much yumminess that I want to share with our listeners. Concurrentfp.com, drprestoncherry.com. Please visit him. You're amazing. Thank you so much. I've learned so much today. It's so good. So good.
Thank you, Lorianne.
And thank you all for listening to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I hope we earned the privilege of your time. Again, I want to thank our guest today, Dr. Preston Cherry. Amazing human being. Love, love, love. I have a new crush. Look for our show next Saturday at 3 p.m. on JVC Broadcasting and iHeartRadio. And we can also be found on all major platforms, and would be so grateful if you please like, follow, share, and subscribe. And please take a moment for yourself and look for life, look for the joy in life. This is what we're here to do. We're here to be joyous with one another. Until next time, I am Coach Lorianne, America's #1 Take Action Success Coach and Strategist, wishing you, letting your dreams be bigger than your fears, and let your life be filled with joy. Until next time, have a great week. Take care.